Breezy here, and I have my boy Brian here. Today we're going to be talking about the music industry, what's been going on lately. We're going to get Brian's opinions on things with X, with Lil Peep, with Quavo, with SoundCloud rappers, things like that. So,
Alright guys, so I'm Brian, and I go to school with Zach, known him for a while. And so yeah, he just called me up, said we could do a video addressing all this stuff going on in hip-hop right now. Mostly revolving like X and Peep. And yeah, let's get into it.
alright. So, I think first we're going to start off with X. So, why don't you, for those of you who don't know, XXXTentacion was a rapper who died June 18th, 2018. He was shot by some robbers at a local motorcycle shop in Florida. And he was, in my opinion, one of the greatest rappers that I've ever listened to. I thought it was pretty cool. Me and Brian were huge fans of him. So why don't you tell me your opinion of X? What did you think about him as an individual?
Yeah, you're pretty accurate about what happened to him. It's really depressing. I kind of just want to go over his death and what I thought about it, and then what I thought about him as a person and rapper. But basically, like Zach said, he was in Miami. He was checking out motorcycles at a local dealership. And these guys, they actually showed the court footage from like the venue, the motorcycle venue, and like a nearby, I don't know if it was like a gas station or something, or if it was still the motorcycle dealership.
It was like right in front of the motorcycle dealership.
Yeah, and they showed footage of the robbers like actually looking at X in the dealership. And then they showed the whole video of him getting robbed and where he actually ended up getting shot and getting killed. And I remember it was like June. It was like after school was let out, but I remember getting the notification on my phone. And I was just like destroyed. I was like, are you serious? Like I was just watching Netflix and I just kept on refreshing Twitter and Google to see like the latest on it. And within an hour, the critical condition tweets went to RIP. So really depressed. So if you guys don't already know, X, he was one of those artists that was always getting into drama in his early career. I remember last fall, I believe, he was beefing with Drake. I don't even remember what it was about.
I don't remember either.
But he was calling out Drake for something, and Drake was not happy about it. And I remember all the allegations and accusations that his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend made about him. And I actually listened to one of their phone calls when he was in prison. And it, to me, sounded like they weren't true. At least Geneva, the instance with Geneva. I mean, X is a person, guys. You'll notice, like, towards the end of his life, like, pretty much from, like, February on, X is really, it seems like he was really trying to become a better person. You noticed him, like, hosting, like, charitable events. If you remember, before he died, he was actually going to host a,
It was like planning a charity event in Florida.
Yeah.
Right before his death occurred.
And X actually used to do, like, little blogs like this where he would just talk about life and give people advice about stuff. And it was really, like, heart-touching, you know, like all the stuff he said. Like he was so passionate in his videos, and it just really seemed like he was trying to be better and a better person. And the next thing you know, he died, which was crazy because X, as an artist, his last two projects, 17 and Questions, or the question mark, they're both, I wouldn't call them emo rap, but they are definitely like more R&B and more focused on like depression and mental health. Yeah. And that's a lot of stuff that you saw with artists like Lil Peep. And so now we both have X and Lil Peep, who are both gone, and they are both very influential in the whole emo rap / mental health addressing, I guess, music and subgenre.
I think X was really influential on his fans. I mean, right after his death occurred, let's say like a day or so, not even a day, like a few hours after it happened, went on social media like Instagram, Twitter, saw all these fans posting all these positive stuff about him, saying that he was so amazing in their lives. Like, his music transformed how they think of life and how they live their lives each and every day. Like, his problems with his ex-girlfriend about his abuse and all that. I mean, yeah, all that. Besides all of that,
I think she actually tweeted out and said like R.I.P. X when he died.
Yeah, she was very sincere about his death. But I mean, besides all of that happened in his life, X was still so great to his fans and to his family. I mean, he did so much for everyone. With his charity, with his music. I mean, such an influential person.
Another thing I want to address is when he died, on Twitter, you would see a lot of feminists and a lot of people like that saying, I can't say R.I.P. to like a woman abuser. And I would never wish death upon anyone. I think that's really messed up that they would say that because, I mean, people make mistakes in life.
Yeah.
We will never know if the accusations were true or not, but X did seem to be turning his life around.
He was.
And he was only 20 when he died. Like,
such a young man.
This kid was such an inspiration, made such an influence on hip hop at such a young age. And I mean, like I said, he wasn't a perfect person.
Yeah, Rip X. Great guy, great musician. We all love him. Miss you, X. So next, we're gonna talk about Lil Peep. You want to give an overview of who Lil Peep was?
Oh, I would love to. So if you guys don't know,
Peep is hoodie right here.
Yeah, most of the people that know me that are probably watching this, I'm a huge Lil Peep fan. I post about him all the time. This was actually his 2018 collection with a collab from Alien Body, who was who still is a clothing line in New York, which if you don't know, is where Lil Peep is from. But basically, Lil Peep, he's a rapper, an underground rapper from New York, from Long Island, and he was active from like 2015 to 2017. He made several mixtapes and a studio album and quite a few EPs. And like I said, musically active for about 2 years. And he was very productive in his music career, and the stuff that he rapped about depression, using drug use to cope with his depression, and just all kinds of stuff like that about like his problems with girls. And you'll notice like so many people listen to Lil Peep now. As unfortunate as his death was, I feel like because he died, more people listened to him and checked him out. And I feel like it's made him grow so much more popular.
I agree.
And Lil Peep, I know so many people that listen to him and that just tell me about how much he's changed their lives and helped them get through some hard stuff.
Yeah.
Lil Peep, he wasn't a really like traditional artist. He was bisexual. He just had his own thing, and not that it matters that he was bisexual, but he was just his own person. With most artists today, like trying to think of a good example, but he was like 50 Cent. Take like 50 Cent for example, or Jeezy, or I'm just trying to think of like classic rappers. Like what you would think of whenever you think of a rapper, like Jeezy, 50 Cent.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess all rappers have like something about them.
Yeah, Jay-Z.
Yeah, like Jay-Z. Like whenever you think of a rapper like that, they got chains, they're rapping about like guns and moving drugs, etc. But Lil Peep, he just rapped about different stuff, you know, like
he was original.
He was colorful, he had colorful hair. Not like 6'9", but he just had such iconic like tattoos and stuff, man. I absolutely love Lil Peep.
So next, now that we've talked about Lil Peep, rest in peace, man. Recently, Quavo from the group Migos, they're a group of rappers, he came out with an album recently called Quavo Huncho. And in one of his songs, fortunately I forgot the name of that song.
Oh, I believe it was Big Bro.
Big Bro.
Yeah, it was like one of the last tracks.
Do you remember what the line was?
So the line was, and this was like the only time he said it in the song. This was like towards the beginning of the song. It was like the second verses, like the second set of verses. But I believe he says something along the lines of, you take fentanyl thinking that's Xanax, and then he continues to say, you live like rock stars, but you're dead now. And a lot of artists and a lot of Peep fans thought that this line was referring to Lil Peep. And Quavo, in the song, you know how Quavo is really big into auto-tune and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, and you know how like Travis Scott, like in all his songs, he's like, yeah, in the auto-tune in the background.
Mm-hmm.
He was having that playing over when he was reciting those lines, and so it kind of sounded like Quavo was clowning Lil Peep for thinking he was cool taking Xanax and then dying. And a lot of Peep's friends and fans and fellow co-artists got on Twitter and Instagram, and they were not happy.
So it caused a lot of controversy, and after that, Quavo came out, tweeted actually today, about 3 hours ago, saying
15th.
that, huh?
I said on the 15th.
Oh, yeah, on the 15th.
That's what we're saying.
Shut up, Caroline.
He
He said that Lil Peep is a legend, a real rock star, never will speak on the deceased. I believe in God, I pray to God every day, I don't question God's plans, nor I lost my barber for 10 years due to fentanyl. RIP, show, RIP, XXX. RIP to anybody who lost their life to drug abuse. Well, what do you think about Quavo's tweet?
So first of all, let's talk about how Lil Peep died. I feel like I should have talked about this earlier. But basically, when Lil Peep was on his Come Over When You're Sober tour last year, I want to say he had just finished a show in El Paso, Texas, and he was going to Tucson, Arizona to perform, I believe it was like his second to last show of the tour, and he was on the tour bus, and this was like several hours before the show was supposed to start, and he was on the tour bus, and he posted a pic and a video of him taking Xanax, or what appeared to be Xanax. There was a video of him like trying to like get it in his mouth. He's like, I got like a ton of these. He was shaking a pill bottle. He was basically like, I just took 6 Xanax, and then later on, he posted a pic of like them on his mouth, on his tongue, and he said, F it, in the caption. And later on that night, he said, when I die, you'll love me. And he posted some pictures of fans, and then he was found unresponsive later that night. So
That was in the back of his tour bus, right?
yeah, and then later on when the autopsy came through, the toxicology, is that what it's called? Toxicology report.
So.
Yeah, when the toxicology report came in, they found out that the Xanax he had taken had been laced with fentanyl. And if you don't know what fentanyl is, it's what Prince overdosed on. It's basically an opioid that's like 100 times stronger than heroin. They actually have like a little gauge, like a visual representation on Google that shows you how much you need to kill yourself with it. And like fentanyl, it's like a couple grains of it. And heroin, it's like half a vial. So fentanyl is super easy to overdose on. It's an opioid. And basically it's used for people with like chronic pain, like that have had pain for so long that no other opioids work on them. And that's what fentanyl's for. And anyways, I don't know why the dealer cut the fentanyl with the Xanax, because fentanyl is actually more expensive than alprazolam, which is the generic term for Xanax. And recently, the dealer who gave MacNed, one of Lil Peep's friends / co-artists I worked with, the guy who MacNed got those drugs from, recently got arrested because he gave another girl heroin at a party last year. I actually believe that party was to celebrate the life of Lil Peep, so pretty ironic. Anyways, MacNed basically got this Xanax. He told Peep, hey, I think these are fishy. And so MacNed didn't take any of the pills, but he gave them to Peep, who appeared to already take opioids earlier that evening. And yeah, Peep basically took them and died. And I actually believe it was GBC who really forced that opioid habit on Pete, because his toxicology report also showed there was like cocaine and like hydrocodone and oxycodone and weed in his system. No alcohol though. So that's his death.
Yeah. That's rough.
So the reason why a lot of people are thinking or thought that this tweet, or not the tweet, this song was referring to Pete was again because old Pete thought he was taking Xanax when really it was fentanyl, and he died. And Quavo says in his lyrics, if you could pull those up,
Yes,
he basically says you take fentanyl thinking it's Xanax.
So he says in his song, I'm an OG now, so you need me. OG, I'm OG. Think you poppy Xanax bars, but it's fentanyl. No bars, it's fentanyl. Think you're living life like rock stars, but you're dead now. Yeah. Let me put you under my wing. I can teach you one thing. Let me put you under my wing. Let me put you under my wing. I can show you all about it. I can show you it ain't all about it, Chain.
So yeah, after he talks about the Xanax and fentanyl, he continues to say you think you're living like rock stars. And Peep referred to himself as a rock star. His flow is a mix between like trap music and punk rock, so he kind of has that punk rock vocals, kind of that like screaming kind of sound to it. And during a lot of his shows, he would actually perform other bands like songs, like he'd do cover songs of other punk rock. I know a lot of artists, like I said, Smoke a Sack and Bexy, they responded to Quavo and they were like, thank you for clearing this up.
Yeah.
But Quavo said he was referring to his barber, and I don't know what barber acts like a rock star. And he was so specific about the rock star and the taking fentanyl and thinking it's Xanax. Like, everything about the line in the song just pointed back to Lil Peep. Honestly, Quavo's not the best lyricist, so I feel like he was just coming up with something for the song. He might disagree with me about the lyricism.
I don't know. I'm a Migos fan.
But yeah, I feel like Quavo didn't mean to diss him in any way. I feel like he was just coming up with words and just happened to reflect back on Peep. So basically, when Peep was alive, back when he was in London, and he was hanging out with I Love McCohen, and if you don't know who I Love McCohen is, he's the guy who wrote Tuesday with Drake. Got the club going up on Tuesday. That song. So Peep was hanging out with McCohen. Peep was great friends with McCohen, and they were actually writing a collab album together and recording it. And one of the songs, Falling Down As You Know It, it was previously called Sunlight on Your Skin, was leaked to SoundCloud. Anyways, after Peep died, or before Peep died, actually I feel like I should talk about something else first. So Peep and X didn't necessarily get along. Basically, Lil Peep, Lil Tracy, and Ski Mask the Slump God were making a collab, and one of Peep's friends, Young Goth, stole Ski Mask's clothes. And so Ski Mask got mad. He was like, screw Lil Peep, etc. Then later on he found out it was Young Goth who stole the clothes. And so he was fine with Lil Peep after that. But because of that, Peep and X never really talked, and Peep just didn't like X because of his allegations of abusing women. However, before Peep died, allegedly, according to Fat Nick said that Peep and X had planned to meet and make up and become friends. And then Peep died. Well, of course, Falling Down had already been leaked by then. And towards the end of X's life, this was actually, I believe, one of his last recording sessions, he hit McCohen up and he was like, hey, I really like Lil Peep. Like, is it cool if I hop on this track? And McCohen, I believe these were the words that, like, I believe this was the general message he was trying to give off, was that he was all about bringing people together, and he knew that putting X on a Peep track would bring people together, because most Peep and X fans coincide, they go together, they both talk about like problems in today's youth, and so most fans like both artists. And McCohen saw that, so he let X record a few lines on it. The next thing you know, X got shot. And if you don't already know, Columbia Records bought Peep's music rights from Peep's mom. And so once X died, Columbia Records got their hands on this this mixtape, and they're like, yo, like both of these artists are dead. We can make some hella good money. Like fix some of the audio issues, and they basically just did a loop, and they released it saying it was a Peep and X collab. A lot of artists were really happy about it, some were not. Overall, I feel like the record company was trying to make money out of it, but at the same time, I feel like McCohen and Fat Nick were happy about it because it brought fans together, and it definitely helped their legacy for sure.
Totally.
And again, McCohen did release the original with him and Lil Peep on it. When the song was first released, the audio quality was pretty bad, and like you can tell with Peep's vocals, but I mean, I thought it was an okay song. It's kind of like an upbeat, Caroline,
Sorry.
very creative and kind of just different voice crack. The original Sunlight on Your Skin did kind of have that beach vibe, pop sound to it. But I feel like the record label did definitely make it even more pop than it already was, just to appeal to more people.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So we took a short break, changed into my hoodie. Now we're gonna talk about Kanye and his controversy with Donald Trump right now. So let me ask you, Brian, what do you think about this current situation between Kanye, President Trump, and the rest of society right now?
so basically, you guys see Kanye hanging out with President Trump, wearing his Make America Great Again hat, all that stuff, going to, like, what do you call them, like meetings?
Yeah,
Something
he'll
like
come
that.
into the Oval Office. Like recently, he went to the Oval Office, had a meeting with President Trump and a bunch of people behind him, and Kim was with him.
Yeah.
Also, they're talking to President Trump. I'm not sure what about, but I know that they had a meeting recently with each other.
Yeah, well, it's no doubt that President Trump is very frowned upon in the hip-hop community and industry. And so a lot of other artists have come out and been like, yo, Kanye, you gotta stop this. And you can see a lot of artists not happy about it. You don't see a lot of like fans happy about it either. But just coming down to it, guys, it basically comes down to clout. Like, negative attention is better than no attention. And since Kanye's dropping a new album on Black Friday, he wants as many people to like be focused on him, and he wants as much attention as possible so he can get those streams and sales up.
So it kind of refers to like when we were talking about clout, right?
Yeah, and
All
6ix9ine
that attention.
doing
Yeah.
stupid, wacky stuff for
Yeah.
popularity so he can get his music.
Yeah, so it was like ever since Trump was elected, it's been so much controversy, not just with rappers, but in general. It's like people have their opinions, but when it comes to Kanye, it's like because Kanye's such an icon, you know, because he's famous, and
He does his own thing.
yeah, he does his own thing. But like when he started supporting President Trump, let me tell you from this perspective, as a black person, the black community, him doing that, it's frowned upon in the black community because not a lot of black people support President Trump. And for Kanye to be going out and doing all that type of stuff, of course it's frowned upon. It's like disappointing. It's like, hey Kanye, why are you doing what you're doing? But I mean, Kanye he blocks out all the negativity. You know, in his mind, he's thinking that he's doing what's best for him, what's best for everyone, and he's just going with the flow, doing his own thing, and it's bringing him a lot of attention. And with that attention, he's releasing music. He's dropping his album here on Black Friday coming up, and yeah, so
Yeah.
there's our little intake on Kanye and President Trump. So now we're gonna talk about Vic Mensa and XXXTentacion's recent controversy at the BET Awards. That was about 2 days ago. So if you guys don't know, Vic Mensa, he recently brought up XXXTentacion's past and his abuse allegations and things like that, the BET Awards, and his ex's mom happened to be right there, and so she witnessed the whole thing. So, you want to give your intake on that?
Yeah, so Vic Mensa, a lot of people are clowning him because like nobody really knows any of his songs. Like I'd heard of him before this. I saw what academics said about him in like one of his videos that he was supposedly like a lyricist. But yeah, apparently he was like disrespecting X for, again, his allegations in this like track he was supposed to like perform at the BETs. And X's mom was in the audience, and apparently like he actually used X's name in the diss, and I feel like that's so disrespectful, especially because X's mom was in the audience, and we don't know if these allegations are true or not. And X is gone and he can't defend himself, and X was getting an award at the BET Awards, and he's nominated for a Grammy this year. So I mean, so disrespectful.
After the BET Awards, Vic Mensa went to Instagram, posted a video following up what he said at the BET Awards, and there wasn't really any remorse for his actions. He was basically saying in his video that he stands by what he said. For the comment in his video, he said, "Protect women. Domestic and sexual abuse are not excusable because you have talent or you are trouble. With that said, I was not aware his mother would be in attendance, and I offer her my deepest condolences." So he's basically saying that domestic and sexual abuse should not be protected by any means, whether it's
he's basically
has to do with
saying
mental
just
abuse.
because you're in a bad home doesn't mean you can do whatever you want, you know?
Yeah. And so he was only apologizing to his mother because he didn't know that his mother happened to be there. And so it's basically just him standing by his comments, saying that he shouldn't have abused those women. This should not be like conservative. It should be out there and letting people know that this should not be happening to women, and that X was wrong for what he did.
I'm pretty sure in the Bible somewhere it says like everybody's going to get judgment one day. My thing is, I don't think he was right to be talking about this with X being dead. Like if X was still around, go for it. And I do understand what he's saying about there needs to be respect for women. That was something that old Pete was really big about, and that's why Pete again didn't really talk to X. But I just don't think it was appropriate for him to bring up X's like past and his allegations, especially when X was dead. That's all I gotta say about that.
So now, as we wrap up our video, we're gonna go back to where he's saying about SoundCloud rappers.
SoundCloud rappers. Funny thing about SoundCloud rappers, this is kind of off topic but on topic, and it does have to do with Old Pete because that's mainly what most of this video is about. But originally, I was talking to a girl back in spring of 2017, and I was FaceTiming her, and I asked her who her favorite artist was, and she said Old Pete, and I was like, "Who's that?" And she proceeded to tell me that he was like a SoundCloud artist, and she showed me a picture of him. It was a really bad pic. It was like the fruit roll-up pic of him with like the roll-ups rolling down his like mouth. And it was a really bad pic, and he had the colored hair. And I thought Old Pete was just like some crappy, like just another 6ix9ine or Lil Pump SoundCloud rapper chasing clout. It wasn't until after he died that I realized like, yo, this guy was for real about his music, and I checked him out. And I realized that he was just doing his own thing. But whenever we think of SoundCloud rappers, we think of the colored hair, really bad lyricism, and clout chasing. And by that, I mean doing stupid stuff outside their music to get them popular and noticed. And like I said about 6ix9ine, you see him like doing goofy stuff, like beef with other artists and stuff like that, and like naming his songs stupid stuff. Another thing about 6ix9ine is Zach is right. 6ix9ine did talk about how like it could have been him, the one who got shot instead of X. And when Peep died, he actually did show remorse and talked on that and spoke highly of Peep. So I feel like deep down, 6ix9ine's like the younger sibling that likes to antagonize their older siblings, but like when their older siblings get mad and they got their younger siblings in a chokehold, he gives up. So like deep down, I feel like 6ix9ine's just like
No,
doing it for
it's
clout,
exciting.
you know?
It's about the cloud, it's about the money, everything.
You know, look how big he is because of it. Like, he's chart topping now.
Okay.
But as far as SoundCloud goes, I love SoundCloud. I love the platform.
Yeah.
Because anybody can post stuff on it, and so you get so many remixes, so many freestyles, so many unreleased and leaked music from artists, so many music that isn't licensed and isn't controlled by
And get
a
to hear
record
different
label.
people's talents. Like, we got some friends back in school
Yeah.
that hop on SoundCloud. They make their beats and it sounds awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you see artists like Juice WRLD and SOBRBE who really came up on SoundCloud. Like Juice WRLD, if you go on like Spotify or Tidal, I use Tidal because I have Sprint because I'm cheap and you get it for free. But if you go on like Apple Music and stuff like that, they only have like a few songs and albums because those are the only ones that their record labels put out. But if you go on SoundCloud, there's so many more because the record labels can't really get to them, aren't in control of that.
Yeah.
So that's why I like SoundCloud. Of course, there are rumors that they're still like possibly going bankrupt, and so
Yeah,
they do have
like
ads
that.
and like a premium
I mean,
system
if it
now.
wasn't for SoundCloud, honestly, I wouldn't discover a whole bunch of rappers. Like, I found out about Lil Uzi through SoundCloud.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Ugly God. I mean, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have discovered a lot of these rappers. Cause like, I think when I first started listening to rap, it wasn't like through SoundCloud, but like, when I first started listening to rap, I believe like the first rapper I listened to was Drake. And I started discovering like his songs. Jumpman is like my all-time favorite Drake song. Love Jumpman. And from there on, I started discovering different rappers like Migos. I listened to Versace. That's how I got into Migos. But besides that, like SoundCloud is where like I discovered a lot of these rappers and their music. So that's what really got me on the rap game.
Yeah, I feel you. SoundCloud's definitely made and paved a new way of like how we view hip hop. You know, it's just made a whole new genre and culture. It's really progressed hip hop in general. And like I said, so many like peep songs that you'll find on SoundCloud and not anywhere else, just because of the whole record labels and all that, and just so many artists. There's just so much music and I love it. As far as cloud rap
awesome.
goes and SoundCloud rappers, I feel like that's just a stereotype, like saying that Zach likes watermelon. It's just a stereotype, like not all black people like watermelon. And not all SoundCloud rappers are clout chasing, like fools who make bad music, so just a stereotype in my opinion. As far as how I got into hip hop, I want to say back in like 6th or 7th grade, I started listening to Eminem, then started listening to Drake, and then it just went off from there. I really liked all the West Coast music, you know. And I actually found
That
out
stuff was good.
who Lil Uzi was on Scheme's album Inglewood 2 on the track called The Man.
Inglewood, yeah.
Inglewood, yeah, it's a good album. There's like 3 of them.
Yeah.
But that's all I gotta say.
Yeah. So you done.
I feel like I've talked a lot.
That's alright. I mean, that was it. It was basically just us talking about the rap game, the music industry, what's been going on, beef here and there, SoundCloud rappers, things like that. So, thank you once again, Brian, for coming. Yeah. Did you have a great time?
I had a great time. This was like a long video. You want to tell them about your Migos concert?
Yes. So Breezy went to Aubrey and the Three Amigos concert on September 27th, I believe. Yeah, on the 27th. Saw Drake, saw Migos performing. Honestly, yes, it was Drake's tour and invited Migos along, but I mean, Drake, like, he did a fantastic job performing. I mean, the whole crowd was lit. He had, like, different sides of the arena, chanting his song to see which side of the arena won. Migos, they came out, they performed Culture two bits of Culture 1.
Culture 2 was whack. Culture 1 was alright.
Culture 2 was like, it was low-key disappointing when I first heard it. I mean, it took me a while.
They
Not
spent like 30 minutes on each song. They said that. But
it was like they just spit out bars and they put it on the album. Spit it out, put it on the album. Like Brian said, you see like an album with a lot of songs on there. I mean, you can tell that the artist didn't spend enough time on it. But other than that, yeah, the concert was pretty lit. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing Drake and Migos perform together. The show is fantastic. Totally worth it. I even got a $60 shirt from it, but it was worth it. So yeah, that's our video. Thanks for watching. Definitely do another video with you another time.
yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I moved around a lot.
Not at all.
I really had to
It's like a
pee.
free
so
moving
I'm just
video.
kinda moving around.
Okay, we'll go let Brian pee.
But
Peace. See you next
thanks
time.
for having me, man.
No problem.